everyone, and welcome to Pokemon Movie Club. I am Marti, and I am joined by the lovely Cerebi Joe, the lovely beardy Cerebi Joe, and bird keeper Toby.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Today we are going to be discussing Pokemon 3, the movie, as it's titled, subtitle, Spell of the Unknown. Is it Entei, Spell of the Unknown? Because everyone seems to forget about the Entei bit of it.
People do. Even
like
I
it
have on
says,
the site.
it says Entei, Spell of the Unknown, but I've always called it Spell of the Unknown.
I just call it Pokemon the third movie.
But everywhere else,
I just call
like
it that movie that's in Johto.
Pokemon 3, the movie, is a weird way of saying it, but that is literally what it's called. Pokemon 3, the movie.
Would you
If
like
you
me
Google
to
it,
read the...
if you Google it, it just says Pokemon Spell of the Unknown.
Yeah, like the 3 seems to get dropped. Let us know in the chat what you refer to.
Would you like me
the
to
movie.
read the summary?
I want to read
I'll
the summary.
read...
Right, okay, I'll read it. Right, so this is, what 90s, 2000s kids will remember. This is the old DVD release. You see the new Manga UK cover down on the layout, and well, I haven't got the Blu-ray up, but that's the special edition one. Okay, so what we do is we'll talk about the blurbs. Can we just, before we go on to main movie things, I have the blurb for the Pichu short.
Okay, go for it.
Obviously, a lot of the older Pokemon films have the Pikachu short, and this film is no exception. Includes mini-movie Pikachu and Pichu.
The Pichu Bros, man.
Yeah.
They were cool.
It's
they
called
were really cool.
Pikachu and Pichu on the back of here for some reason. It's double trouble in the big city. Pikachu is lost, and the Pichu Bros must help their new pal get back before Ash notices his Pokemon missing. It's a race against the clock as the duo dragging Pikachu into one disaster after another. Dozens of Pokemon make their animated debut in this hilarious adventure.
And this short also creates timeline issues, which I'm sure that Toby is thinking about.
I'm well aware of.
I want to know about
It's
these.
a celebration of the day that Ash and Pikachu first met, so...
Yeah.
It's like... Not quite Ash's birthday, because it wasn't Ash's birthday when he got Pikachu.
No, but it means a year has progressed.
Over a year, because over a year had passed when they got to Viridian City.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
So actually, that would technically mark 2 years then.
Yeah.
If he's saying it's the day we first met, and we know there's already been a year, then that would make it 2 years. That would make the third movie set 2 years after the origins of Ash leaving Palette.
And then that obviously continues on, because in a later episode in the Battle Frontier, Ash says to Bulbasaur, Charizard and Squirtle, a lot of things have changed over the years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in Unova, they're like, this is Ash, and he's 10. And it's like, damn you! It's a soft reboot. But anyway, this is not the podcast for... As much as I would love to...
But, Pichu Bros... popular enough.
Very popular. They got a number of specials, which ended up in Pokemon Chronicles. They had Winter Vacations. They had
a game. Pokemon Channel is like the Pichu Bros movie game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's...
That's the whole goal of the entire game.
To unlock the film.
Segments. Yeah.
And then listen to it in other languages, which I quite enjoyed doing. I really liked the Japanese theme to the Pichu Bros anime thing on channel. One of these isn't the not-sheared one, is it?
No, the spike-eared Pichu is only in Arceus and the Jewel of Life.
Yeah.
Right.
Just wanted to make sure. But no, I thought the Pikachu short, obviously, unfortunately, it's not in the Manga UK release. Just need to
shame.
Be clear about that. But for someone who did own the video and old DVDs, it's a big part of it, the Pikachu shorts.
Fun fact, it's called Pichu and Pikachu in Japan.
It's called Pichu and Pikachu in Japan, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember being a kid and dragging a family friend who, you know, was like in their 50s or whatever, into the bedroom saying, "I've got to show you, this is so funny." And I must have been so young, and forcing them to watch the Pichu Bros. And I know exactly the point that they left the room. It's when Gyarados comes out of the water and they're on the raft. And I realized that was only 5 minutes in, and I'm like, man, they only survived 5 minutes of watching it, being polite to their sort of like basically nephew, however young I was at the time.
It was
They
last
only
week,
lasted
wasn't it?
5 minutes through it. It was last week, yeah.
But I think it's a great shot, and
it's fun.
it's at the end of that where Pikachu's wearing the hat backwards,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, no, I will.
It's such a really adorable ending that has nothing to do with the actual short or anything else related to the movie. It just says this short about Pikachu and Pichu, and then this really beautiful ending about, oh, by the way, happy birthday. And you're like, what? Ash should set up a party? What?
And Pikachu forgot and felt terrible.
Yeah. Pikachu didn't get him anything.
No. Okay, so to compare new and old main movie back of the box things, is it a blurb?
It's a blurb.
It's a blurb. Get set for an action-packed adventure unlike anything you've seen before. A crystal catastrophe is unleashed upon Greenfield, and Ash, Pikachu and friends must figure out how to undo the damage to once beautiful town. But the unthinkable happens when Ash's mother is kidnapped by the powerful Entei. Wait, do you have mother or mum?
Mother.
I have mum.
Ooh. Well, that's British. Because
Yeah,
it's got a U.
M-U-M. Kidnapped by the powerful Entei,
A
Pokemon thought to have existed only in legend. Now Ash must go to her rescue.
Uncertain of what he'll uncover when he unlocks the real secret power behind the unbelievable turn of events. A young girl whose dream world is being turned into a nightmarish reality by the mysterious and unstoppable unknown.
By the most unstoppable Pokemon ever, the Unown.
Wow, well that's a lie.
Yeah.
Have you seen like the trailers for this movie?
Yeah.
Do you remember the trailers?
A
They're, like,
while ago, I really should have
good.
refreshed my memory. Was there
Isn't
anything on these that got cut out?
Well, the Pichu short.
No, but like, you
You
know,
mean
when
anything in
we've
the trailer?
discussed the last couple times that how the
So
trailers.
I don't-
the trailer-
Oh,
I'm
they always do that.
I'm sort of rewatching the trailer right now, and it's just like a giant stone unknown, and it's like more powerful than Lugia, more mystical than Mew, and it's like, what is this? And it's like the unknown. It's very cool.
If I remember correctly, the original trailer might have had Mewtwo in it.
We should have to go
Interesting.
back and watch
It has
that.
been many years since that. I might be mixing them up.
Well, Joe, give us a release date and time frame and where this is set within the anime.
Okay, so this was released on the 8th of July 2000 in Japan. That puts it right towards the end of Johto Journeys. So it's soon after Ash caught Noctowl.
And Noctowl is in this. So
Yes,
that
Noctowl
makes
is
Yeah,
sense.
Noctowl was.
So it's a fairly recent capture.
And this came out before we had the second film.
July 2000, yes.
Yeah.
And
That's
it then
good.
came out in America in April 2001. So, yeah. And it's called Lord of the Unknown Tower Entei in Japan.
Lord of the Unknown Tower Entei.
And
No, I like
unknown
that.
is in speech marks.
But why? Because it is
Because
unknown.
it's
If
unknown.
anything, it should be Entei. Because it's not really Entei.
Because they're doing the play on unknown and unknown.
Oh. Okay.
I would. Would you like some reviews? I like doing these when we do these podcasts.
Right.
All right. Rotten Tomatoes score is 21%. Audience score 52%. Here are some reviews. The animation doesn't display the kind of artistic advantage that would compensate for the underdeveloped story. Creepy, yes, and confusing as heck, but not half so fearsome as the three little words, "Until next time," spoken by whom I don't recall.
Ouch.
What we got? Even little trainer's pet Pikachu appears to have seen it all before. Nap time for adults.
I mean, you say that. I did actually fall asleep watching it yesterday, but I was ill, so...
or in 2001 described by the Los Angeles Times as a 75-minute sensory assault.
Wow, well, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, let's start with
I love this
the
one.
animation.
Sorry. I got one audience review. I just one. Better, but still weird and depressing. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done.
It is a little bit, but we'll go on to that. Obviously, we discussed the last two movies and the use of 3D animation. Pretty much perfect. Like the Unown being 3D and everything else in the film being 2D. I think, it really worked to highlight because the Unown were from another dimension.
Through an ultra wormhole.
Through an ultra wormhole. And it just worked and they looked great, and I didn't see any sloppy animation because the last two films were a bit, you kind of felt like they rushed them out because of all the hype, but I feel this was quite tidy animation.
I think this is a better story than the other two. I've also never seen a story quite like it in which the main character's mum gets kidnapped and that's the stakes. It's just a weird kind of thing. I've not seen that in much of the media, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, that's different. I like it.
And Ash wasn't the chosen one, or
no.
It's
It was a more intimate kind of story, which I like.
And a great thing I liked about it is that it, as a Pokemon movie, it had a lot of Pokemon battles in, which you don't really see much in Pokemon movies.
Yeah, what? That made a big difference for me as well. Like, I remember as a kid, one of my favourite bits of the film is in the centre of the film when she challenges Brock and then she challenges Misty, and then we're finally going to have kind of a showdown with Ash, with Entei versus Totodile, and that kind of, like, just those kind of things. And then there's the Pokemon battle right at the beginning with the other trainer, which is a really great battle. Like, it's really fun to watch.
That was the first time Acorn was in the anime, by the way.
I was going to say, so I've got noted here, new Pokemon. Which Pokemon? Because it does say it with the Pichu short as well, like it was their animated debut.
Yes, Pichu hadn't been in the anime at that point.
Who hadn't? Pichu?
Yeah, and neither had... were Pichu's friends in it? Smoochum and that lot?
Yeah, Smoochum, Hitmontop, Igglybuff, I think.
Magby.
So baby Pokemon, basically.
Yeah, but not Elekid.
Obviously, I was a little bit too young. I don't really remember.
Girafarig I think this was timed just before the Psychic Sidekicks was out in Japan. So it was also Girafarig's first appearance.
We had seen, Heart Gold, Soul Silver out yet at this point?
Gold and Silver? You just said Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Yes,
Gold and Silver had been out for about 8-9 months.
Oh, okay. So none of this was really new then. Like, this
was the first Johto movie. That's why they were in Johto and everything was Johto.
Yeah.
And it was before they started the Gen 3 run-up, because that started in March of 2001.
Okay.
It was a good film. It was a really decent film.
So obviously you've got little girl Molly. Just to briefly recap, because it doesn't cover it that well on the back of the box. You've got little girl Molly, whose dad is a scientist, who gets...
whose dad is Dan Green.
Huh?
Her dad is Dan Green, the voice actor.
I don't know who that is.
I thought it was Professor Hale.
It's Professor Hale.
Oh, you're just making me so triggered. Dan Green, who voices Professor Hale and Entei. Yugimoto,
okay.
All the other big classic anime roles. Dan Green's in everything and he's awesome. I can't. Oh, don't worry about it. You go on with your little review.
Well, no, I didn't know that.
Don't worry about it, Marty. You just go on with your little. Your
okay,
thing.
So Molly's dad, scientist, was studying the Unown and then gets sucked into another dimension when studying the Unown, and then Molly, she's all alone, she gets upset, and the Unown kind of bond to her, like her emotions, and come through the wormhole, and they like, oh, we like this little girl, and then like they make. This is what only
Right.
I could only figure out in the last
Is this
couple
where
of
you went to
years.
sleep in the first 10 minutes?
No, it was the last. The Unown create an Entei because Molly and her dad would read this book, and so Molly would pretend her dad was Entei, and then this new Entei she would pretend is her dad. So Entei isn't actually a real Entei, it's a make-believe Entei.
Well,
created from unknown hidden power.
Yes, I think yes and no, because I mean, and it depends how far you want to go, and a lot of this stuff wasn't like set in stone. I think when this movie was out, but Unown seemed to be very inherently tied with like the origins of the Pokemon world, Arceus's 1,000 Arms, all that stuff. Obviously, that stuff didn't exist when this movie, but it seems that the Unown come from another reality and are reality creators. Like they just potentially created the universe with Arceus, whatever, but they make things real. And I think the point is that in this moment they kind of bonded with Molly, who just said, hey, do you want to play with me? And kind of sort of psychically linked to her head, and she kind of became God for like the duration of the film with these creatures that were just creating her thoughts, which is why the palace takes on this funky crystal structure. It's the kind of thing that like a toddler would think of. And because she sort of connects her Entei and dad, I think she's quite young, and so they create this Entei, which I think is it's like a real Entei, but it's like a
it exists, and it has the powers of an Entei.
But it's like Entei plus. It's Entei plus dad fused, meshed together, with some... And it seems to be able to call upon the power of the Unown to help Molly's like dreams and wants and wishes like become actualized when she's wanting to be a Pokemon trainer and that kind of stuff. But it's very much she's just like a toddler with unlimited power, basically.
And obviously it's very heightened emotioned toddler, because her dad disappeared, and we don't really know what happened to her mum. I wrote down here. I feel like Hale said, the only quote I've got is ever since, for a long time. Like it's like I should have written what happened before that, but we don't actually know what happened to her mum. Just we've been along ever since for a long time. I always assumed she had passed, but we know that that's not the case, and we'll go on to that later. It's a little weird, however, because she wants a mama again. Like she wants a full family unit, and there's a picture, and it turns out that she and her dad had met Ash and Ash's mum Delia, and there was a picture of them all, and she looks at it and is like, oh, Entei, I want a mama. Entei goes and kidnaps Ash's mum and brainwashes her, like hypnotizes her, and she then thinks she's Molly's mum, and Molly talks to her like, oh, your mama. It's like, well, hang on, no, because your mum is in the photograph. You know what your mum looks like.
Trauma is a very hard thing, especially for a kid to process. They could end up losing the image of their mother.
Yeah.
Even though she's right there in the picture.
I think Molly is supposed to be incredibly young, and I think, she's traumatized by the loss of her father. And the Unown have psychically bonded to her. Like, for all we know, like, who knows what's going on? Who knows what's going on in her head? Fun little bit of trivia, IMDb. When Ash's mum goes over to look at the fridge and takes off all the bits of paper, a little bit of trivia on IMDb. I haven't noticed this. I don't know if you've seen this, but apparently one of the bits of paper that she pulls away is a picture of a Pokemon battle from the games.
Yes, I think I did notice that when I watched it yesterday.
Cool.
I remember thinking, oh, that's a cool picture, but I didn't write it down. But no, I still couldn't get my head around that. There's a picture of her dad, her mum, her, Ash, and Ash's mum, and she's now pretending Ash's mum is her mum, even though her mum, her mum's there in the picture.
She was definitely the most irritating part of the film, like, for sure.
Like, I didn't quite understand that bit of it. I'd love that explained, because I can't unsee that part of the film now, and that it really gets to me.
I think she's just supposed to be really young and like going through some trauma. Like, that's the best I've got to explain that.
To not understand that it's her mum in the photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Memory can be blocked.
Okay.
I don't know.
I also love
alien things attacking it, like, in her house.
I love how she works out that the unknown look like letters, and I'm wondering if her father had worked that out. It's like, oh, she's 5 and she can figure out that the unknown looks like letters. Like the little Scrabble, like, unknown pieces. It's like, oh, they kind of look like letters.
What's
That's
weird
a clever
is...
kid.
To be fair, it's a Japanese movie. And in Japan, the unknown aren't based on katakana. They are on Latin letters.
Yeah.
Interestingly, it's really weird because it seems to cut to, like, the unknown ruins are just like, they look like they're in Egypt, like they're in a pyramid somewhere.
Yeah,
in the
they
desert.
go quite far away.
So I wonder how far. I don't know what the time jump is supposed to be, but definitely, I've looked at those ruins quite a lot for various Pokemon theory related reasons, and like it's weird to me that they have like unknown text on the wall. And then they have, like, other symbols and shapes that aren't anything to do with the unknown.
Like when Professor Oak gets it up on a computer.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, they're not unknown letters. They're just weird unknown symbols that aren't actually the letters.
They're the, what is it alphabet? The Greek alphabet they have as letters. And there was always the speculation of, oh, maybe they'll release more unknown forms in the form of Greek lettering, but they never did. They just did the... exclamation mark and question mark that aren't in this film.
No.
Yeah, but this is cool. Like, I think this is the first film where the only time that really I think the unknown in any media are shown off for being as cool as they can be. Because in almost every other game or whatever, you only ever encounter them on their own. In the card game, you only ever see them on their own.
Been in the anime since.
Yes, there was an episode called Address Unknown at the end of Johto that featured an unknown J falling out. Was it J? Or wasn't it?
Hey, talking of unknown J. Toby, this is.
Oh.
So
the card.
yeah,
I'm looking at it right now.
You get the
promo that comes with the film.
Okay, it was a G, not a J. There's also an episode in Solakion Ruins and various other places, and there's also a Pikachu short tied to the 9th movie, which only aired on ANA flights, which featured a lot of unknown, and no, it included Darkrai, but it featured unknown taking them to various worlds.
Unknown appear in some of the movies as well.
It just wouldn't feel right if, like, seeing them in 3D in this film, if they then just started appearing in 2D. Because...
Yeah, Pikachu's really mysterious adventure. And they were seen in Rise of Darkrai.
Yes, when Dialga and Palkia are battling. Yes. The time-space rifts and the unknown sent flying. But yeah, I think the unknown are like the coolest thing about this film. Well, the unknown combined with Entei, because it's the noises they make, the way that they're 3D and they dance and they play. There's a weird, if you just listen to those noises, like there's a weird sinisterness about the childlikeness of the unknown and the way that they just want to play and that kind of thing.
You've definitely hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, and then you couple that with like a cool forefront Pokemon like Entei, which is like the front face of this movie. I think together they make I don't know, there's something quite cool there. It was interesting to me that they went for Entei, like Suicune, obviously Gold and Silver were out, Crystal was not, but I assume Crystal was in the works.
Crystal came out for 5 months after this movie.
So they would have known Crystal was coming as well.
And Crystal, certainly in the intro, there is an implied connection between Suicune and the unknown.
Yeah.
And they don't give, any kind of, like, preference at this point to Suicune, Raikou, or Entei specifically. If they are going to, Suicune seems to be the center Pokemon. So I wonder why they decided to go with Entei.
I think it's pretty obvious why.
Why?
to have a fire versus fire Charizard versus Entei match.
That I could see that being the case.
Because
that was nice. We haven't touched on that. Charizard came back.
That
Charizard
is so
saw
contrived.
Ash on the TV.
It's so contrived. I mean, it's just like saying, look, Ash has all these new Pokemon, but you know what? They're actually kind of rubbish. Let's bring Charizard back.
I could see.
They just want to make fans happy.
I see the point you make. Charizard versus Entei is a cool selling image. Like it is.
Because Ash didn't really have anything else.
He could have flown on his Chikorita.
But then even in that case, I'm kind of surprised they didn't go for, say, like Ho-Oh, for example. They had just done Lugia. They could have had that Fire v Fire battle.
But they had been building up on Ho-Oh for a long time in the anime. So they clearly wanted to do that as an anime thing.
Sure. And of course, Suicune and Raikou did get later love. Suicune in the next movie, and Raikou in its own mini-movie short situation. Which is cool.
Reading your notes.
Yeah.
I am Entei.
That is what you wish.
You're not Entei. You're
that is what you wish.
Make-believe Entei. Yeah, when Molly battles Brock and Misty, where do they go? Because they just kind of like appear again at the end of the film.
She hacks them in, and then
she hacks them in.
She hacks. Molly Hale hacks, right? She's 5, and she's suddenly got these Pokemon with perfect IVs that seem to be way stronger than Brock and Misty's. Given that they're gym leader, I think it's fair to say she hacks. Disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. She probably gets a sibling to hack.
Yeah, probably. I suspect that once she's done with them, she just puts them in the box and then re-hacks them in later.
She did get a Teddy Ursa at the end.
She did? She got a real one.
Right. Oh, I want to discuss the end in more detail. I think we gotta come back to that. Because we should definitely end with the whole ending thing. What is it with floating stairs? Because I noticed this in the first film as well. And I feel like this might stem my fear of stairs that are not closed. I used to have a lot of nightmares about stairs that are not closed. And you could see through them. What is it with like stairs that are swirling around that are not like? Why would you run up them? I need something to hold on to. Like I would not want to go upstairs in the middle of the air. Also, why are they there in the first place? Because Entei and Molly. Yeah, but you know Molly was always in a room anyway. Like.
Maybe
what was the point of the stairs? Who were those stairs for if it was only them?
No, so I think they're real stairs, but they've been reimagined in Molly's imagination, like has the rest of the building, you know. So that's just how she imagines them to look.
Floating
in a cool way. Stairs.
No, so I'm not the only one that has a big thing about stairs that are not closed. And
no, I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah,
people can grab at you through them.
Yeah, because we used to have stairs like that in my old school, and I would have nightmares about them. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I'm seeing this in chat as well.
I get it.
And I also had a friend who had stairs, but they didn't have like a banister on one side, and I just couldn't. There was only a banister on one side, and it's like you could just fall straight off your stairs the other side. But yeah, I digress. But yeah, I discussed like Brock and Misty just suddenly appeared again at the end of the film.
Saving Team Rocket. Team Rocket when they were still relevant in the films even slightly. Team Rocket have like the best moment in this film. I think it's the funniest joke out of all the films is Jesse saying, "Oh, don't ask questions that you shouldn't ask." And Meowth goes, "I got a question it's probably better I didn't ask. Do you think we'll get a bigger part in the next movie?" I just love it so much. It's like my favourite thing.
Okay. End of the film.
Right.
When Ash climbs up the little tube thing and gets in, like everything's crystallized. There's water and there's like a big crystallized house in front of them. I only noticed yesterday that is the same house, like the same building structure but covered in crystal and the water, that in the ending credits, and this is why you should totally watch the ending credits for Pokemon film, because things still happen in the closing credits that are quite important, because I didn't notice this until maybe only 2-3 years ago, but Molly's mum is not dead. Molly's mum comes back in the credits. Like, she's there. I think she's probably might have been with her Teddy Ursa. With the water, this crystal house structure is now just normal. And then there's her mum.
I don't know where I got this from, but when I was younger, I assumed that the implication was that the mum had gone missing through some other legendary Pokemon research, and that's like maybe by the Unown or whatever, and that's how she was found. But I realized I had no basis for that whatsoever.
Maybe
like I just remember when I was younger.
But there's really nothing other than ever since, well, for a long time, like, we just hear mysterious disappearance, but I just always assumed she died, and they just didn't want to say that. But no, at the end of the film, in the credits, her mum comes back, and that just blew my mind.
You're not silly to think that she may have died, because I think usually in media, when they veil a character's face, that's like the reason why, like, they're deceased, they're not with us, we don't see their face, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird little thing.
I'm just annoyed at myself for not paying attention to the credits sooner, because it's good to know that she just disappeared and not,
She could have been ill.
Disappeared. Yeah, like. But yeah, I only just realized yesterday that moment in the credits is actually the same building area where Ash makes his way into.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, I only noticed that yesterday. But yeah, the big battle, it is all good. It wasn't, there wasn't too many Pokemon battling and going on. It was
nice because
standard.
It was like. There was no way that, like, say, Totodile was going to be able to take on Entei.
No.
Or even necessarily Charizard. And it was just cool that he kind of cycled through 2 or 3, and then the plot got resolved the way it did, or whatever. And really, the Unown were kind of the main antagonists, but no one was really an antagonist, like a big bad. Like, Entei had his reasons, Molly had her reasons, Unown had their reasons.
I mean, Entei was just doing what Molly wanted, and then Molly was like, no more fighting, and he's like, alright.
If that's what you wish.
That's what you want. We'll go with that, yeah. Right. Telepathy. They don't say the word, which makes me happy, so it's not part of the telepathy counter. And I still think I'm willing to give Entei a pass in this movie. If it was any other Entei, I'd say no, absolutely not. But given that this one was created through unknown magic, I'm willing to give its ability to talk a pass, like a solid, it's fine.
Entei's not spoken in any other film.
Because
listen, it's not a real Entei. It's an unknown Entei.
Yeah, it's an Entei with the power to
It counts
speak
as an Entei in my anime decks.
But it's not.
It is. It's an Entei with extra powers.
Yeah.
Because
see, look, Wild Entei, the spell of the unknown.
Not Entei, the spell of the unknown. Yeah, I think the whole Entei part has just kind of been forgotten from the time.
It's kind of similar to how Jirachi creates that Team Magma Groudon monster in the first, not in the first movie, in one of the Jirachi Wishmaker movie. But I think it's similar to that, except the Unown get it perfect because they're unknown and they create stuff. That's what they do.
Mm.
So I think it's kind of the same deal as that, where that Groudon isn't really a Groudon. It's like a imagined thing that's brought to life. But in this case, it's perfect because that's what the Unown do. They create reality. So.
Overall,
it was decent enough.
I enjoy. It didn't try too hard, and the story was.
It wasn't. Oh my god, the world is ending.
I feel like they did a good job developing the characters, and I feel like the whole
Out of the 3 films
Ash's
you've watched so
mum
far,
thing was a bit weird. Like I said, her mum's in the picture, but I'm willing to look past that. I definitely prefer it over the second film.
I think I prefer it over the first and second. Having rewatched them now, recently, out of all the films we've done on Movie Club, I think this is probably my favourite. And there wasn't any big gaping, logical inconsistencies, I thought. The character motive, certainly for Ash, he didn't do anything overly stupid. It just seemed that's what his character would do. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Definitely. I feel it made sense, and their actions made sense, and
I've become very aware of Brock's outwardness when it comes to women.
Oh, are you looking at the pictures in the
in
beginning?
Johto, that really escalates. It's like overcompensation for whatever happened with Professor Ivy.
He introduced himself to the girl in the pictures that are going through the slideshow. Oh, my name's Brock. Have you got a boyfriend? Or can I be your boyfriend?
So Ash is like, I'm Ash, and I'm going to be a Pokemon master. Well, I want to be a Pokemon master. And he's like, I'm Brock, and I want to be your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes later, they're walking to the next town, and she's like, everything's beautiful in Greenfield. And Ash is like, but I can't wait to see all the girls. And Ash is just there like, Pokemon. He's got no...
Also, don't you think, as they're walking up to the hill with Greenfield, they would have seen the Crystal Tower above the hill? I'm like,
I know, Ash is quite short,
That's true. That is true. But, I definitely I rate this film highly. Definitely rate this film highly for a Pokemon film.
I actually think it's gonna be quite tough to find another Pokemon film that's gonna top this one off of memory.
I choose you.
Off of memory, maybe 4 or 5 will, but it'll be interesting to see whatever we get. But the next one, of course, is the what's it called? The Power of Us.
The Power of Us, which I have a poster here that we got from Japan that was in some things we ordered, and I figured it's a good month to have that on my wall, and so that's why we haven't had a vote for the next one, because we want to support the cinema release of this new film. Toby is going to the press screening. We were invited as well, but unfortunately it's the day before Let's Go comes out, so it's a little bit bad timing for us.
I need to go because I will be so excited about Let's Go that I will just need something to distract me all day. Otherwise I'll just sit here thinking about Let's Go until midnight. So,
or I'm just gonna pray that out of the several places we've ordered from that I get a copy early.
Before we end, I will put some trivia out for this movie. Did you know that this movie originally intended to feature real-world animals and a Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Really?
I think I'd heard that somewhere before, but that's nice.
That was the original draft for it. According to Gamenesia, a blog that belonged to Shudo Takeshi, a scriptwriter for the original Pokemon movies and anime, contains a few entries that suggest Pokemon 3, the movie, was originally intended to solve all of these mysteries and show the appearance of animals, including a T-Rex. The original idea of the movie was to base the plot around the discovery of an ancient T-Rex skeleton. The finding would be the first time anyone in the Pokemon universe had seen a real-world animal, which is a lie. And it would lead to global curiosity over what the creature was and why it became extinct. Before long, the T-Rex skeleton would come back to life and escape, and a team of Pokemon trainers and researchers would attempt to catch it and study it more thoroughly.
I don't like it.
I'm glad they dropped it.
It was eventually rejected because executives believed that no one would be interested in watching a movie about fossils and origins of animals. Instead, they decided to do a movie on Entei.
I mean, how's your series on fossils and origins of animals doing on it?
Probably not as successful as the third movie.
That's really weird.
It's interesting.
That is. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got something to think about. But yes, the next Pokemon film we will be talking about next month is going to be The Power of Us.
I'm only really interested to see how Zeraora is like.
Oh yeah, Zero. I mean, the big two Pokemon with this film is Lugia and Zeraora. This is not the second movie redone just because Lugia's in it. It's not a remake of the second movie. That's very important to understand. Cinema dates. If you want to go and see it, please go and see it because we don't want to spoil it for you when we talk about it next month. It is the 24th and 25th and December 1st.
And it varies depending on where you are.
It varies depending on where you are. Some cinemas are doing more showings than others. Some doing more than one day. Some doing more than one showing on one day. Check out fathomevents.com. FATHOM events.com. Type in where you are. It will tell you where the nearest showing is. As we discovered in last podcast, and Joe still has it up on his laptop, our local cinema decided to start showing it after all, even though I was told it wasn't. So definitely keep checking back because, you know, in the next few weeks, more cinemas are being added like all the time. So that is very lucky we checked because we were going to book for somewhere else. And we're going to talk about that film. We're going to give you a little while to watch it. So I think when did we decide on our next episode? I need to just double check. On the 14th of December is when we shall all meet back up and talk about this new Pokemon film. We wanted to keep it fresh, and you guys can all go see it in the cinema. Hopefully, I mean, I feel like there's a good amount of cinemas showing it. And then, sorry, am I boring you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just hope we don't spoil it. So if you're worried about spoilers, go and see it, I guess. Or if you're not sure about seeing it yet,
go see it.
Maybe we could try and do a spoiler-free review.
Go see it. If you have the option to see it in the cinema, I reckon go see it because the fact of the matter is,
it's a Pokemon film in the cinema.
Oh yes, it's a Pokemon film in the cinema, and it's very rare that this happens. Last year we had it. This year we had it. It might not happen again next year. We don't know.
Exactly.
Better do next year's Mewtwo.
Oh, I hope
and
so.
then next year, because we know the next film's going to be... Is it a remake? Or
we don't know. We'll
retelling?
find out next month.
Because we've not really seen anything. There was a trailer at the end of this film in Japan. But I am so excited for this next Pokemon film because we have heard from a friend in Japan who's gone to see it, who's not really the biggest fan of the anime. They said that it was really, really good for a Pokemon film. And I trust their judgment. So I'm looking forward to this film more than I Choose You, to be honest. But yeah, I think that's everything. So that will be on December. I forgot what I said now. 14th.
14th works for me. Yes.
Yeah.
I said 14th, didn't I?
Yes.
Okay, December 14th. Same time, same place. And then, obviously, we'll vote for what we talk about in January. And, yeah, hopefully these can go back up on YouTube by that point. Alright, so thanks for watching and letting us know how you feel about this film. If this does eventually go onto YouTube, let me know in the comments what you think about the third Pokemon film. And if you are still here on Twitch, stick around for the post show. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys next episode, I guess.
Until next time, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.